Well, guys, it has happened. The Stadia 2-year anniversary and the Black Friday deals are here, guys, and these are some of the best that I've ever seen in my 2 years covering the platform. The awesome thing about these sales is they are not just even games, but hardware as well. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the best sales, break down what I think you guys will get the most out of your hard-earned cash. With that, guys, if you're new subscribers, I cover all things related to Stadia, so if you guys want to be up to date, you want to be subscribed to this channel. With that, we're going to go ahead and start this off with the insane Stadia Premier Editions on the Stadia store. The white controller plus the old school Chromecast, capable of course of 4K gaming, is down to just $22. This is easily the biggest sale we've ever seen on this, and I mean the controller itself is high quality enough to be way worth more than $22. I mean this. I mean, it's my favorite gaming controller. I own about 10, including the Xbox Series X controller and the Luna controller. My opinion, the Stadia controller is the best one, so definitely grab this if you're wanting an extra controller. But guys, if you want the Stadia Premier Edition completely free, well, that's also in the books, so you're going to want to keep this in mind, because if you buy a game for over $29.99, you actually get the Premier Edition completely free. This is a deal that I'm personally going to be taking full advantage of myself. I'll even reveal what game I'm going to buy later in the video, and I think this is one of the best deals Stadia's ever had, period, especially when you mix in all the insane game sales we're about to take a look at. So if you pair up buying a game over $29.99 and get a free Premier Edition, I mean, I think that's insane. Unfortunately though, all these Stadia Premier Edition sales will not be for our friends up in the north in Canada. They continue to hate on you guys. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because you guys are so cool. With that, guys, so let's take a look at all the best game sales available for this Black Friday. And wow, guys, we have sales that are pretty insane. Sales ranging from literally just a few bucks to some high quality AAA titles are the cheapest I've ever seen in my 2 years, and I have covered all the major game sales since then. So by far, this is the best sales I've seen overall. Let's start going through them though, and stay tuned, because towards the end I'm going to give you guys my top sales that are must buys. And let's start this off with the Ubisoft games, because some of you might already have Ubisoft Plus, but if you don't, or you rather own your games, some of these are pretty insane. We pretty much have all the Assassin's Creed titles on sale, but Odyssey comes in at $14.99, a game I know people have spent hundreds of hours on. Game still holds up today. I will say though, not the prettiest looking game on Stadia, so keep that in mind. Then we have a game released just last year in Valhalla, coming in at dirt cheap price of $23.99. The game now does feature a performance and visual mode, so 60 FPS is available, and this marks one of the better deals, but not the very best. Immortals Phoenix Rising is another game that came out just last year, coming in at a cool price of $19.79. You either love or hate this game, but it features fast action combat, lots of puzzles and exploring, and at 20 bucks you're really getting a lot of value. Far Cry 6 just released some weeks ago, comes in at an awesome $40.19 price. I do recommend this as I've had a blast with the game so far. I think it runs great on Stadia as well, but it does feature only 30 FPS, so keep that in mind if it's a deal breaker for you. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is only at $7.49, a brawler that you can do some local co-op with. Division 2 and the New York Warlords expansion pack are both $8.99 each. This is one of my favorite games on all of Stadia, even 2 years after its release on the platform. It features 4K 60 FPS, features crossplay, and has Stadia Stream Connect. This is a must-buy if you're looking for a high-quality looter shooter. Ghost Recon Breakpoint's only at $8.99. This has seen a couple of free weekends, so if you've enjoyed it or you just want an open-world shooter with Stream Connect, no crossplay though, but it comes in at a solid price. Rainbow Six Siege is $9.99, and I fully recommend this because the game's a player versus player with full crossplay with PC players, so you're always getting matches. The game itself runs fantastic and is one of the better player versus player games on Stadia that we have in the entire library. Finally, on the Ubisoft titles, we have Watch Dogs Legion. I've pretty much beat the game on Stadia. I got towards the end and almost finished it. It's a really fun title, open world where you can tackle objectives in any way you want. It has almost like a Pokemon-like feature where you're recruiting humans to your cause with different stats. It's very cool and very fun title, coming in at just $14.99. I wanted to highlight, guys, a set of family games on sale, especially with the holiday gatherings happening. One that I think a lot of people don't know about or realize how much fun it is, because the game actually released to zero marketing, and I was like the only guy to get a video out at the time, is Family Feud on Ubisoft. This game is $9.89, and out of all the games here is my personal go-to because everyone knows about Family Feud. It's such a quirky title, and you can include up to, I think, 10 players, so I fully recommend this a ton. I have poured tons of hours into this one. Uno at $3.99 is insanely cheap and a good one. Monopoly is another great one at $9.99, and what's cool is that you can change the rules to speed up the game, so it doesn't take hours if you play it like in the original way. Finally, Olympic Games Tokyo's at $19.99. This is another underrated title full of mini games left and right, and the game is such a blast. I've gotten so much fun with this, but you will need potentially multiple controllers, so keep that in mind. Alright guys, we have the entire Lara Croft titles, starting with Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light and Temple of Osiris at $224 and $299 respectively. Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebrations at $5.99, which I think is great. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is at $13.19, and finally Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, guys, at only $2.99. So that's 3 titles under $3. Very easy to recommend these awesome games. Then we have a few sports games here from EA I do want to highlight. FIFA 22 is at $35.99, and I've actually gotten to pour quite a few hours into this year's FIFA. It really is a blast. The animations due to that hyper motion gameplay that's new to the franchise this year has really taken it up a notch, and this is a next-gen title exclusively on the cloud and next-gen systems. PC players don't have this, as well as the older generations, guys, so pick this up. Madden 22 at $29.99, and I'm recommending this because if you're a football fan and you're enjoying this year like I am, it's currently one of my games that I play in my rotation. I personally just have fun doing the career mode, and it's just a high quality title. Moving on to the racers, and I wanted to lump these into one. F1 2020, yes, it's not the current year's version unfortunately, but 2020 is at $14.99, and it's my favorite racer of the bunch in terms of these car games. It's so detailed and it's so thorough. It's a true sim through and through, and I think it's a great price here. At that $14.99 price, we have Grid at $7.49, hitting close to its cheapest on Stadia. This is more arcadey than F1 2020, but it's got a good mix. Also, a great game to pick up for future live streams on this channel as I feature 40-player car races. So grab this one, guys, and join our community streams. Then we have 3 Ubisoft racers, and of course we have to highlight Riders Republic. $40.19. It just released. It's garnering lots of favorable reviews everywhere. Has full crossplay. I mean, this is such a fun game, but I do predict a cheaper sale in the months ahead, so I just want you to keep that in mind. Trials rising at $8.99 is not too bad either. Not the cheapest I've seen, but solid. Then finally, a racer that deserves love due to the price here is the Crew 2, coming in at $9.99. I think this price is absolutely fantastic because there's so much content in this game. There's so much fun to be had, and you're easily getting your money's worth here. Also, it does have Stadia Stream Connect, so if you're able to find a buddy, you can experience that as well. Alright, finally guys, let's start hitting some of the more random sales in general. We have the Darksiders franchise fully on sale right now. Darksiders Genesis is the only Diablo-like type of game on Stadia. It's at $15.99. I think the franchise is worth playing if you haven't already. Borderlands 3 has seen many sales recently, but if you haven't picked it up still, $14.99 is certainly not too bad. Dead by Daylight has seen many sales as well recently. $9.99 for the game. I put in the most hours in all of Stadia on this game. It's not too bad. Full crossplay. You're always going to find games. Another game here that came super close to getting one of my top sales of the week, but it won't because it doesn't have the same hype as the games I'll mention later. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 at $7.99. This is such a good price for this fighter on Stadia, and I'm not even a fan of these types of games, but this one I've had so much fun with in the past. 100% grab this if you're looking to scratch that fighting itch. Hitman games are all on sale, guys, here. Hitman 1 at $8.99, Hitman 2 at $8.99, and finally Hitman 3 that released back in January of this year at only $23.99. I can't stress to you guys how much these games are unique. They're fun, they're challenging, and they're very much importantly here, high quality. It's probably my top 3 favorite franchise on Stadia right now, and if you were to buy all 3 games, I guarantee at least 50 plus hours, but I think I'm actually being too modest. You can easily get upwards of 100 plus hours, if not a lot more. So grab these titles. They run and play great on Stadia. So again, my recommendation fully there. Judgment at a sweet $23.99 price. Full 60 FPS, fun gameplay, fun story. Not much else to say. It's a high quality game. Humankind, that released months ago, the only 4X pure strategy title on Stadia, is at $39.99. This is a game I'm actually buying to appease my free Stadia Premier Edition promotion. I played this before and it's just so good. Brings a different flavor than the Civilization franchise. I think at 40 bucks you really can't go wrong on a game that will give you hundreds of hours of fun. Marvel Avengers at $15.99 is not too bad as well, but it does have no crossplay or anything like that, so you're going to be mostly solo unless you have some friends on Stadia, but I think it's solid. Outriders at $19.79 with the recent patch finally now including full crossplay, a game that does feature Stream Connect, and a more recent title that released, of course, not too long ago, and it's going to be getting lots of updates and lots of DLC. This is a game I can now fully recommend safely, and another title with potential to give you a lot of bang for your buck. Rage 2 at $11.99 is a very underrated Stadia title, comes in at the cheapest I think I've ever seen it on Stadia. Resident Evil franchise is on sale. Resident Evil 7 comes in at $19.99, but the big ticket game, of course, is Resident Evil Village at just $29.99. Released midway through this year, one of the bigger games to launch on any platform period this year. This is not going to get any cheaper for a long time, so you're going to want to pick this up if you want it, just like an insane horror experience. Sekiro is one of my favorite games on Stadia because it really does show the true power of the cloud. Comes in at $39.99. Not the absolute best price, but solid nonetheless. Elder Scrolls Online, the standard editions, at $5.99. This is super cheap for really the only MMORPG on Stadia. The standard version is just going to get your feet wet to know the game, but if you really want to go ahead and get further in this game, there's other sales, so it's a good one to recommend, that standard version. And Life is Strange True Colors, also a completely brand new game, came out recently, is only at $38.99. A full-fledged story game that sucks you in quite a bit, and also does help you with that free Premier Edition if you were to grab this one, since it is over that $29.99. Finishing off the list before I get to my sales of the year, Wolfenstein Youngblood is at $5.99. This is the cheapest it's ever been on Stadia. And finally, we have WWE 2K Battlegrounds. If you're looking for that wrestling, or if you're looking to scratch that wrestling itch, it's not too bad. All right, guys, let's hit the several sales that I think are the absolute best out of the bunch. We have 3 here, and because these are high quality titles, these are also the cheapest we've seen them. You're really getting the most out of your hard-earned cash. Let's start with the Doom titles. All of them are on sale, of course, but the big kahuna has to be Doom Eternal at just $14.99. This is easily one of the best sales on the entire list. Doom Eternal is an insane game on Stadia. Recently just got an update as well, and at just 15 bucks, I mean, this is one of the best games on Stadia, period, because of the performance, to the gameplay, and the visuals as well, guys. So grab this game. 15 bucks. Holy crap, super cheap. Now, this next game is going to be very controversial, but it's probably my absolute favorite game on Stadia, my number one, right alongside Dead by Daylight. Cyberpunk 2077 coming in at the best price I've seen to date on Stadia at $29.99. I beat this from start to finish within a month of its release. It still stands to me as an adventure that I'm never ever going to forget. I mean, a hallmark in my gaming experience. The game itself has gone through many bug fixes since it released. You're not going to deal with the nonsense that I had at launch, and to me this is a game that, yeah, maybe didn't live up to the hype, but it's one of my favorite titles of the past decade, so couldn't recommend this more just because of how cheap it is right now, and it's of course a AAA quality title with lots of content. Finally, the last game, not necessarily better than the Doom or Cyberpunk deal, but it's the cheapest it's ever been on Stadia in the 2+ years covering this platform. One of the games that I've played the most, and that is Red Dead Redemption 2, coming in at $29.99. This is, again, the cheapest I've ever seen it. You're getting lots of content here. The story itself, you can get lost in for a long time. Then you jump into the online portion that has typically at least just one active server featuring nothing but Stadians, and I know people who have thousands of hours on just the online portion of this game on Stadia. It also has a visual and performance mode. I've spent at least 100+ hours myself, I think, on the game, and it's one of my favorites on Stadia, period. Grab this one and enjoy some awesome gameplay. Of course, guys, I'm sure I've left off some sales that you guys are going to think are worthy of being in this video, so let the others know in the comments so they can grab that game themselves, and let me know what you guys think is the absolute best sale on here so we can help our fellow cloud gamers enjoy some holiday gaming. I'm Sunny, and as always, I'll see you guys in the clouds.